Locker Room, we are here with some brilliant guests. You might have seen them before. It's Matt, it's Jordan, they're from Coventry Rugby, and we're here to talk about relationships, fertility, and everything else in between. It's going to be a good one. Matt is a dad. You wouldn't believe it, he looks about 12. He doesn't, he's enormous, and he's got a massive beard as well. Jordan can't grow a beard yet. Here's what he said. Those are his words, not mine.
Great moustache.
Great moustache.
Yeah.
Just a bit patchy around here.
Yeah, that's the bit I need a bit of work on.
Look, Matt, I think we should probably start where everyone else would. Being a dad, what's it like? I'm terrified. No one's pregnant as of yet, but I'm getting to that age. What is it like being a dad?
Honestly, I was nervous beforehand, but it is the best thing that I've ever experienced since I've been born.
Really?
It's honestly, it just changes everything, changes your outlook on everything, changes your focus on everything.
Let's break that down. First of all, how old were you when?
Good question. Right, he's just had his 4th birthday.
Look, you know how old he is, but not how old you were.
Yeah, so I'd be 27.
27.
Yeah, about 27.
So let's break down what you just said there, mate. In terms of it being you have a new outlook on life. What do you mean by that?
I just think. I think we touched on it a while ago about how rugby can be very mentally draining, mentally tough. Selections, injuries, all these things that, or you don't play very well on the weekend, you have a game, you don't play very well, and you look at your phone, everyone's telling you how shit you are on your phone.
Oh.
Yeah, awesome, it's brilliant. And then, that eats away where you have a child, you go to work, you do your job, you train in, play your game, good, bad, indifferent, you come home and he's there staring at you. When they're young, they can't smile, they just look vacant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're just there and you're just all of that's gone.
Really?
Nothing's gone. It's parked until Monday morning or whatever when the coaches tell you how bad you've been or whatever. So, but it's all gone and it's just your full focus, especially when they're young, maybe your full focus is just on them. And I think for me, I found that really refreshing. I was always a person that would beat myself up a little bit after games if I didn't feel like I went well, even if, some people said I did, I'd be like, oh no, I did this, I shouldn't have done that. Once I had my son, his name's Albie, and once I had Albie, it's just changed your whole outlook on what's important. And I think as daunting as it was, as scary as it was, it's obviously life changing. It's life changing for the better for me, definitely.
Any struggles?
Loads of struggles.
Yeah. I don't think I've met one parent who hasn't had struggles.
Easy, really easy. No, it's absolutely
it's cakewalk.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was tough.
Sleeping.
Look, again, being an athlete, sleep and recovery is hugely important. I was very lucky that my wife was understands and understood at the time,
So what you're really saying is she was on the night call.
Yeah, basically I stayed in the room down the hallway, so it wasn't too bad. So on important days, on training days, so you try and share the load as much as possible. But yeah, look, you're stressed, you are sleepless, you question yourself a lot,
am I ready for this?
Am I ready? I don't know what I'm doing. Why is he breathing? Oh, what? It's all this sort of stuff. You're trying to keep something alive. I had a little bit of experience with the dog, but it's different.
I love that.
You know what I mean? It's one of those things where you're
exactly.
am I doing this right? And then you've got everyone giving you advice, all well-meaning and stuff, but it's you just end up figuring out what's good for you, how it works for you and your wife or partner at the time. And you just get through it, and it's such a great experience. It's rewarding, and then the older they get now, it's obviously they develop personalities and characters, and now he's telling me off, and it's it's just he's just literally just turned 4. So,
just turned 4.
But yeah, no, there's definitely stress. It's definitely really stressful. Like we say, sleepless nights. You question yourself. Your relationship. There is a strain of relationship. There's no getting away from it.
Why is that? Sorry, Jordan, we are going to come to you.
No, that's all right. It's just tough. We're both going through something that's so new. It's a weird one because it's not like we're the first people to ever have a child. So obviously everyone experienced it, but when you are tired and stressed, and I'm bringing things back from work maybe, or you sometimes have a bit of dad guilt. I know that sounds silly because it's I'm coming out and doing my job and paying the bills, etc. But then my wife, I feel bad because my wife Fliss is at home there looking after the child. She can't go to her work, but she really enjoys, and all these sort of things. So you're there going, I feel really bad not being there or missing things or not being more supportive. So, you know, and then obviously she sat at home, you know, I'm speaking on behalf of her, but she sat there going, I wish I could go to work. You know, it'd be nice to have a day off from looking after or changing a nappy or doing the bottles and all those little things. You know, you argue over who's done the dishwasher or who's not sterilised the bottles or whose turn is to change the nappers.
The bottles, God, this is things
you got to learn. You're gonna have to. It won't be long.
At some point, mate. But does romance find its way in? At some do you have to make that happen as well? Do you have to force the romance in?
I don't force a
shoehorning.
Yeah, you know, you got to be careful when you're forcing bits a lot. But I think no, I do think it changes. Like naturally,
like a date night.
Changes. Yeah, definitely. I think that's the point. I was really lucky with. We had a really good support network at the time. My mum and dad were pretty close, so they'd come over and help out. So it's just having quality time together. You probably lose that a little bit. So try. It sounds silly for us. What worked was like just factoring it in. Like I know you don't. Like you say, it sounds a bit contrived, but actually plan it. Like put it in the calendar. Right, we're having this night together on our own, or you know, we'll have a babysitter over here or whatever. So it's having that. Like making sure you plan it so you can get it done. Otherwise it is easy just to fall in the trap of the monotonous. Right, wake up, feed the baby, go to sleep. You know, and it's and that can be tough, and it can put strains on the relationship. And I think naturally that will happen. But I like to think we navigated it fairly well.
I think you sound like a very mature man. He's my age, Jordan. He's my age, and you sound like my dad.
Yeah, but I look about twice your age, so
it doesn't matter because you're my age. He sounds like my dad. I need to grow up, Jordan. Fertility. What, you know, you're young, you're 24.
26.
26, you're 26. So you're probably thinking sort of like down that route, you've got a partner yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, it must be relatively scary. You're like, God, is this going to work?
I do want kids somewhere down the line, and whenever it comes to that, like, there's the small chance when, you know, we play rugby, contact sport, is I get need in sort of like the private parts quite often. You get the odd boot or whatever, and it can come to the point where like
got thumb taps on those ones.
Yeah. You get studs.
Well, you know, it comes to the point where like, and Matt probably maybe speak about more. It's not as straightforward. It's not the minute you start trying for a kid, you get a kid. It's not like that. Like there's things that come up. There's complications. There's a chance of not being fertile. Like when you really want the kid, and obviously it's just one of the things that you sort of cross when it comes to it. But yeah, that's sort of, they say, like when I'm listening to sort of Matt talk and people who have kids, like taking notes or maybe just listen to like, and it kind of, again, you laugh and joke about the sleepless nights and stuff, and you think to yourself like, oh, I'm so glad I don't have to do that now. But they're the things later on, like maybe somebody who can't have kids, they're the things that they want, and then you can't sympathise with them, and you can't realise that like that's what some people maybe moan about and joke about. Some people don't get that in life, and that's sort of the privileged side of being able to have kids, I suppose.
Yeah, being fertile, because I suppose there is a definite sort of worry, isn't there? That you're like, oh God, what if it doesn't work? And then you feel like a letdown. You're like, oh God, well, my swimmers aren't swimming.
Yeah, exactly.
Swim!
To be fair, on that point, like we made a clear decision. We were really keen on. We always knew we wanted kids. We got married. We just sort of did that traditional route, I suppose. And we were like, right, shall we start trying? Let's give it a go. If it happens tomorrow, brilliant. But we're ready to give it.
If it happens, it happens.
There's no good time to have a child. It's a little bit like you're not ready for it anyway. So it's like, right, let's do it. Let's have a good, you know, let's go for it. And we probably had 3 or maybe 4 months worth of trying, which for the first 2 months was brilliant. Obviously, as you can imagine, it's like, yeah, ready, right, let's get back.
Here we go again.
And then you're like, oh, actually, like, why is this not like? Why is it not happening? Like. And then it's a bit more like, oh, okay, right. Well, then you get a little bit twitchy. And I think, if I remember rightly, we actually went and did a fertility check. So we went to local GP, and you can check if you're like all good. And mine came back absolutely fine. And then basically you have a sit down with the doctors or GPs or whatever, and they're like, well, have you actually planned this? And we're like, no, we just thought it just it just happened, you know. Like you hear stories of, you know, try it once and all of a sudden you've got a kid, but it's like, right, so it was one of those where it's like, okay, well, just actually use an app or use something that is for the females. Mate, within, I don't know, 3 weeks, we were, as far as we were aware, like pregnant. So
wow.
It was one of those.
What's that feeling like?
I'm
pregnant.
Yeah, it was really weird. It's like, I think it was kind of like not anticlimactic in the sense that I'd come back from work and she was just like, oh my God, here we go. I was like, hang on, I've got my bag. I'm like, what's going on? And she was obviously so excited, and we were both like over the moon. So it was like, yeah, it was awesome. And then they had that realization of like, right, actually, we've got a lot of stuff to organise now. Like, we've got to get it going. But yeah, I don't think it's as the whole process is like, for us, we found it like once we planned it. I know it sounds silly, but sticking to the science of it, it actually worked really well.
Silly at all, man.
Yeah, they are.
You've got a relationship with an older lady. You seem to talk about her really lovely and eloquently, mate. What do you think the key to a successful relationship is?
Time's a massive one. So sort of you can they say the love languages of people, and sort of my partner's love language is sort of like time and presence. Like, she loves spending time in, like, there's times that I come back from training and I've been absolutely battered in training, or again after a game, all I want to do sometimes is just lay out on the sofa and just chill out, like no music, no sound, just chill out. And she'll be coming in and she's had a busy day at work, or she's not seen me all day for everything. She just wants to like spend some time. And sometimes I don't want that, and it's hard to do that sometimes, and finding the balance between that is really important. And spending time, again, touching on what like my mum and dad, I think like time together, we could say whether you plan it or just getting in the days where it's sort of just, if the kids are at nursery, or say if you don't have kids, just planning maybe one day a month and just doing something. And it doesn't have to be anything expensive, it doesn't have to be going off for nights out or a night. So sometimes it can literally just be something as simple like going down to the local, going to the park, or just spending time, or even like something me and my partner have sort of found out now, just literally playing cards with each other. Like,
oh, I love a game of cards. I love that though. That's so nice, man. That's so refreshing to hear, because you know, a lot of people, me included, I mean, God, me and my missus, we you know, because we're so busy at the moment, we don't see each other as much as we'd like to. And when we do, we're like, should we just watch a movie?
Yeah, well, sometimes that's again, just like today. So I'd say we've been here doing this episode and all the other episodes and stuff like that. And like, I've just planned just to go again tonight. I'm gonna go back and cook us some dinner, and we're just gonna watch a movie. Something simple. I'm just doing a roasted red pepper sauce with some chicken, like something that's just doing a roasted red pepper. Simple, yeah. But like, just taking that time to. And having and understanding that your partner needs that time, as well. Your partner needs that time, and
I'm about to run
balance.
Home. I'm about to run home and be like, shh, Jordan told me I need to do that.
Putting you under the cosh, yeah, like.
No, but mate, I completely agree. I think you're completely right. I think both of what you guys have said is so inspirational to definitely me, but hopefully a lot of people watching. I just love the way it's coming from the sort of like most manly of sort of rugby men I've ever seen in my life. It's brilliant, mate. I'm really happy we're doing this. Lads, do you know what? I had no idea what this conversation was going to be like. This specific one, actually, I was like, well, I don't know how this is going to go. It's been absolutely wonderful. And so contrasting as well in the best way possible. Mate, congratulations on the son. And mate, dude, you sound like the most amazing boyfriend ever. You just make me sound like I need to do a lot more.
Mine isn't going to be fuming.
Yeah, same. I know Miss doesn't watch this. No, I hope she does. I hope you all watch this. I hope you've all enjoyed it. And lads, again, thank you so much. I'm really appreciative of your time, so I know you're busy. Now remember, addressing these issues is an ongoing journey, and the more we talk about it, the more positive change that we can make. If you've been affected with any of these topics, or you feel like you need support, please do visit your GP or visit the Boots Men's Health Hub.